All right, welcome to episode one of this solo self-found esque lightning purifier. So standard rules for this: I don't reset my blueprints, but I do require all gear to be found by the character and all components to be found by the character. And to the extent that there are things that are typically faction gated, I try to not use them until we've acquired the necessary rep with the faction. So that's kind of how we're going to do this. And we're going to be playing Lightning Rune of Callistor,
You're not looking too bad for the buck.
among other things. Level as Inquisitor. Alright, it's going to be a bit before we get to Rune of Callistor, so put a few. We'll do Stormbox, so that we have something before we get there. Alright, we'll get this Rift Gate, and then we'll rescue Faldus. He'll give us some scrap as a reward, which we are going to eventually need. Try not to get hit by all of these things at once because we have no HP. Hi, Susie. We are playing a Lightning Rune of Callistor build. We're going to go Purifier, so Inquisitor demo. And we're also going to try pairing Stunjacks with it and see how that does. Although we probably won't get the Stunjack stuff today. It's another level. Alright, that gets us another level. Should probably get all these Aether Crystals. So we are SSF, we kind of need what we can, whatever we can get. Alright, we go down here, we get the shrine. We need a bunch of scrap before we can really do anything in terms of turning in quests that matter. So, we might just keep pushing a little bit. And then we'll start to turn in quests. Okay, this probably requires Aether Crystal. Yep. We go back out to Lower Crossing Rift. Alright, we get one Slith necklace, two more. We get the Slith primal ring. Which for early on is kind of nice, because it gives you some resistances. Ooh, scrap. That's actually kind of nice. We need that. Getting scrap might be the worst part of an SSF run. You might be able to get lucky or get one or two from a vendor, but you can have a bit of a time otherwise. Tsunami, welcome in. Yeah, we're just getting started. Stormbox is doing work for us until we get Rune of Callistor. Alright, alright, 1 point deadly aim. Yeah, put 2 here. Alright, we only have 2 Slith necklaces. We need 1 more for the primal ring. Watch some of the YouTube vids this afternoon. Nice. Hopefully they were helpful or entertaining, depending on what you're watching. Alright, Julius probably has a bunch of lightning res. So, yeah, this will be fun. Then fell asleep. Well, at least it's because you were up for ages. I just appreciate it. All right, come on, just... This is giving 3 hours later vibes. I mean, this is always the slow part of any kind of fresh start run, is getting those initial pieces of gear that actually make your build viable. Alright, Milton's not in here, so there's one other place he could be. Alright, let's get something on everything. There we go. There's Milton. This is going to be a Purifier, so Inquisitor demo. We'll be trying to kind of combine it's Lightning Rune of Callistor with a side of Stunjacks is kind of how I would describe it. And the shield MI for the Rune of Callistor also has some bonuses to blast shield, so that sort of makes for a nice bit of synergy. Impervious of the... It's not good impervious, but you know what? And thanks for the follow. Yeah, you know what? It's still a helm, which is a update over what we currently have. All right, well that's Milton Aether Warp Totem. We're not going to do the totem yet. Once we get runes, we're going to do pretty much every totem. But whoa, okay, it's we don't have Chaos Res, so let's be a little respectful of that. Welcome in, Master Halls. All right, we'll get this Rift Gate. We're going to... this is usually not worth doing, this little side quest on normal, but you do get some scrap as a quest reward, which helps early on, so on a fresh start run, I think it's worth it. Alright. Okay, level 8. Let's see, alright, we are so close to getting the rune. Yeah, a lot has definitely changed in Grim Dawn since 2021. I mean, the big thing was the Sunder mechanic, but besides that, they've also significantly reduced the importance of Phys Res by reducing monster Phys and internal trauma damage. Meanwhile, they've made armor more common, easier to get, and arguably more important most of the time. Alright, so we got a shrine in here. Might as well read the lore notes for a little bit of XP. Still only have the 2 Slith necklaces, but we are going to be going into the flooded passage for the shrine there, so that should help. There we go. Alright, so there's 3 locations for this merchant. Tuma, thanks for the tier 1. Welcome in. Always much appreciated. Hope you're doing well. Alright, let's go get Luther. Almost to level 9. There we go. Alright, go 1 point this, 1 point this. Continue to push mastery bar. We will be making the rune pretty strong soon. Alright, try to... Alright, let's get the rune on the bar. And let's start to use our attribute points. Put 5 in physique for now for a bit of health, DA, etc. Health is still pretty low, but I mean, we're not going to do that. We cannot afford it. So we have to go through the Shambler. There's also a shrine here. Let's yeah, so we go. I mean, the feel like the play for me is always start with turtle, so game sound is probably on the lower side. I can turn that up a little bit. Usually my problem has been the other way around. Welcome in, Morndale. Yes, Twitch basically forces you to have ads some way or another if you're an affiliate, I'm pretty sure. For, you know, the 5 cents a month that it brings me, it inconveniences you guys way more. Yeah, we at some point need to go back and get the Slithering, but... Thanks, Tuma. Yeah, I did indeed say hi to Morndale. All right. All right, let's Shambler. Low efforts, welcome in. Okay.
Oh, hello, Trav.
Find Angram. Let's, yeah, find Angram first, and then we can get the shrine and move to Burwich Village. Looks like there's no totem up here.
Move along.
So even if we don't get any more scrap on the way to Burwich Village, the quest reward and from I think both Faldus and Harmon will get us enough to give the Barnabas so that we can kind of continue on. We're not exactly tanky right now. It's another level. Well, I mean, it's a triple rare we're not going to use, but it's still a triple rare. We'll probably just sell it, honestly. Fishing out, welcome in. Alright, we don't really care about Ulgrim on normal. But that said, we kind of walk by him anyway since we don't have the merit. So I guess it doesn't hurt to talk to him since he's literally on our way. Alright. We'll send you to Devil's Crossing, Ulgrim. Got more scrap, very nice. Alright, we can turn off well, probably shouldn't turn off yellow items since we don't have all gear slots equipped yet, but it's fine. Hey, welcome in, Trixie. Uh, no, this cobbled together SSF build is still going to be better than anything that Scimitar G puts together. Welcome in, Magi. The game is especially hard when you come up with arbitrary challenges for yourself, but you know that's its own issue.
The dead attacks. I need some time to.
All right, 9 scrap and 13 aether crystals. We're good. Welcome in, Pirate Spider, and yeah, Old's got you. It's Rune of Callister. Yeah, I mean, Inquisitor, you can level Word of Pain is one option, and Stormbox ends up being pretty nice as well. And we're still early on, so we're wandering around with very poor resistances. Thunderstruck weapon? Yes, please. I mean, it's just a tiny bit of extra lightning damage, but why not? And Thunderstruck is also OA, so... We still need to get a Slithering, so... Let's remember to do that maybe after we... kill this boss and get the shrine. Harmonious of Corrosion. You know, we could do without the of Corrosion, but Harmonious is not bad. It's a little bit of extra resistances. Why not? And let's go up to Whitemire. Yeah, Rune looks really cool when we get the lightning conversion, which is going to take MIs. Alright, so we get a Slithering, which is better defensively, so we're going to equip that. This is just strictly better as well. For level 12, we can put on the Milton Helm. Somehow we've got 53% Aether Res, but I'm not going to ask questions. I'll take it. Be nice for Warden Krieg. We have 0% Bleed Res, no Chaos Res, poor Vit Res. Alright. Put another 5 into Physique. We will eventually be putting points in Spirit.
What do you want?
I just never bother with Isaac Spalders. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just lazy.
What's with I? Good, you're one of you. That's good with their warden.
Yeah, that's a completely reasonable position. I'm kind of rushing to try to get to the build-defining MIs. The start of one of these runs is always a little slow, so and it really picks up once we get the MI, or 2 or 3, as the case may be. All right. Let's put a couple runes down, see how the totem feels. Yeah. I mean, thing is, if Rax is getting hundreds of people to watch Grim Dawn, and some of them come over and get into the game, I can't help but see that as a win. Alright, Rune's going to be soft capped soon. We'll keep pushing start to get some defensive abilities, and then eventually get the artifact handling for cooldown on runes, or of censure for RR, as well as damage reduction. Don't know when we'll get to Inquisitor Seal. Yeah, he's done a bunch of Grim Dawn streams. I mean, he might just play one character to endgame and sort of call it there, but I mean, that's still a fair bit of streaming. Yeah. I mean, any big raid, there's going to be a bunch of people who are just pretty much there for that streamer and peace out after. Grim Dawn is indeed an amazing game. Are we still wandering around with 0 poison? Oh no, they're 26% poison res. Yeah, Tsunami, I think it depends. Some of the variety streamers, I think people show up more for the. A lot of people, they have a core audience that shows up for them, but yeah, a lot of it, depending, is going to be game focused too. I think maybe the bigger the streamer, the more they have kind of their own people. Don't really need to fight this guy, but now I'm committed, so...
I've been expecting. Why won't you die? When I'm done with you, I will crush your friends and never grow. Why won't you die? What's wrong? Now, damage. My true power.
Alright, Krieg down. Alright, let's get this to soft cap. Let's push the mastery bar. Have to go into Forgotten Gods.
Defeat is a. So you must die before. I cannot.
Okay, we can do this. We don't have any actual skills to bind that to. I'm gonna change this very quickly because obviously having this on deadly aim isn't a good idea.
Are in the core. Go to.
Deadly aim isn't up 100% of the time. Let's grab the lore notes. And we'll, I think we'll side with Dreeg for the augments. For this build, I kind of want the displacement. Might be fishing hat. So yeah, we're once we get another level, I'll put upward. I'll take Word of Renewal, put that on the bar so that we can hatch something that has 100% uptime. I'm trying to speak. All right, here we go.
I could hear the.
Just a guy who, because algorithms are what they are, got a lot of views for his build guides that were based on very, at best, limited game knowledge. And that made just a lot of fundamental mistakes that, if you followed, you're probably going to get frustrated. But yeah, he's some guy on YouTube. I don't know what his main game is, but in general, it's not great to make guides for games that you don't have any expertise in. Like, I understand wanting to make content, of course, but I think there's some introspection in figuring out, well, where am I actually adding value, I think is kind of in order. But that's just me. Okay, let's sell some stuff. Clear out some inventory space. Just sell the triple rare. Aether Ellie, yeah. We're not gonna take a fortified. No, this is not even probably ever gonna get used, but just in case, we'll keep it. Other option is just forget the guy exists in general, but people are going to do what they're going to do. Oh, 14% Pierce Res. Let's actually, we can make a Silk Swatch, I think. And we can probably get an Anti-Venom Salve, so... Actually, we do need to check this. Do we have 3 Scavenge Platings? We have 7. Alright. And the Mutagenic Ichor, we need 4 for the... we have exactly 4. This will pull from shared stash, which we're trying not to do since we're doing only materials we find. So I had to make sure that we had the appropriate... do I have a serrated spike? Yeah. The questions you have to ask at the start of an SSF run. I have 1 serrated spike. Alright. So... 1 Silk Swatch, 1 Anti-Venom Salve. Put that in the belt. Do we have any other components that are useful for us right now? Yeah, we'll put an Unholy Inscription in the gloves. And I think... put a corpse dust on our slith ring. Yeah, I guess that's good for now. 32% Pierce Res is a little bit better. Wait, do I have the... We don't have enough scrap. Hold on. One of the vendors has got to sell scrap for us. There's no way. That would have been something, but we are saved. Yeah, Dammit does Grim Tools, and I think he does Last Epoch Tools as well. Yeah, 32% Pierce Res in Act 2. Not ideal. Alright, rescue this guy, send him to Devil's Crossing. When we have runes, I feel like we should do as many totems as we can. We're actually gonna put Stormbucks on right mouse. I don't think I need auto attack anymore. Yeah, that's why we do runes. And yeah, we'll put this on Word of Renewal because that's an actual skill with 100% uptime, which is what we want. And we'll put Word of Renewal here. Let's double check. It looks like we don't need to actually invest points in cunning, at least for endgame for the weapon we're using. So put a few points in spirit for damage and also energy. All right, let's go get the next rift gate, then we'll port back and get the shrine. Your ghost was a bit annoying at times, Trixie. No doubt. Alright. So technically, once you have access to Forgotten Gods, you can craft dynamite, but I feel like the thematic way for a fresh start run on normal is to come down here and get your dynamite. So I've been doing that. Also, bees that can drop royal jelly. Balthazar can be a little bit sketchy. We got the royal jelly we need, although we are going to be going into one of the wasp caves later because one of the bosses there drops an MI that we're going to be using throughout the game. It's +1 to Inquisitor, and I believe it gives extra electrocute to a Stormbox. Alright, we got one dynamite, but that's good enough. So once we have access to Cronley's lair, we have an easy place to farm dynamite. You can also craft it, but if you're saving your iron to buy blueprints, which is normally something you do on a true fresh start, then you might want to be cheap and just farm it instead. Right, we gotta go back to Mornay. Um,
Well, you were there. We have to hit them hard and fast.
I don't think we have a Rune Ghost either. Are we, Alright, we've killed the, forges, so let's go into Cronley's lair. Yeah, Garia is, I believe, one of the two League super bosses I've actually ripped a character to, along with Moira back in. I think it was season 4. Aggressive Martin's Crest of the Drying Ghoul. Okay. So yeah, that goes on, and so it's the helm that's going to convert it visually to lightning. Alright, so we got our first MI, which is integral to the build, this Martin's Crest. Oh, that's +3 Runic Alistor, which is very solid for us, actually. Continue to push down the Inquisitor Mastery. We will be a Purifier, but we're not going to go into demo just yet.
So Bourbon's dog has come barking. You should give up trying to act the savior. It doesn't suit you. Humanity is already doomed and a new power is rising. Get on board like I did or go extinct. Well, that's not quite true. The Ethereals will need new...
Alright, his shield is up. We did a lot of damage to him, but just not quite enough to kill him. Alright, that should be enough. Yeah. Alright, we are going to need some more inventory bag space, I guess. Alright, we'll get the next Rift Gate, and then we'll sell some gear, turn in some quests. Alright, in terms of balancing resistances, I feel like this is probably better. If we need Pierce Res, we can keep the Cronley Ring, I guess. Let's see, Rune Carved of the... And none of these belts are really anything special. Aether Fire of Haste.
Put it to good use. Well, damn, now that... Come, friend, right to business.
Hey, welcome in, Braskin. How's it going? I'm very way behind on chat. I'm probably not going to catch up. Yeah, Blackwater Cocktail is a very strong skill. And it's especially just the AoE is nice for Shattered Realm. Single target's a bit lacking, but you get so much time for killing mobs. Alright, I guess we'll kill Mini Voldrak. We'll be getting a +1 Inquisitor amulet as well, which is nice. So the second MI after Martin's medal we're going to get is Ulraprax's Sting, which is a amulet that you can target farm from one of the wasp bosses in a specific cave. So we're going to go there right now. Hopefully get something good. Back before they changed how potions work, there were a lot of royal jelly potions, so you'd actually come in here and farm royal jelly sometimes. But most of the good potions don't take royal jelly to craft, so it's comparatively rare that you actually bother farming this now. Because you can only use one of each type of potion, so... Okay, it's not good impervious, but that's still a very nice roll. Destroyers of Scorching is a very good roll, yeah. It's about as good as you can reasonably expect. And so I forgot before, but we'll do it now. We want to buy some movement runes to augment our metal. Let's also drop the yellow crossroads. We shouldn't need that now.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left. Put it to good use.
All right, what do we want to do for devotions next? We've got turtle. All right, eventually we want widow. Which is going to take 6 greens. I'll get our greens and purples now, I guess. Let's go green crossroads. Quill. We've got plenty of Aether crystals, so we can refund the crossroads. Start here. Yeah, that's nice. Does it give you duration as well? But yeah, that's a lot of burn damage. Alright, we might as well start using another corpse dust. This requires level 22, so we'll be able to use it momentarily. Yeah, it's +1 to Inquisitor and flat electrocute the storm box. Also gives us some extra % lightning and health. Alright, I guess we take Steel Resolve, 1 point that. It's free Aether and Chaos Res. What's Trixie got for us? Okay, sure. Elementalist. Do we do a little bit of regen, but nothing crazy? Solid fire, burn duration modifiers. Yeah, we have Infernal Night. And sure, Flame Strife. Yeah, you just throw the cocktail around and let stuff marinate, basically. So we're not going to bother with this quest, but we'll pick one up. There is a shrine on the third Floor of Steps of Torment. It's possible we'll get to it later, but right now I really want to push and get as many of the MIs as I can for this build to bring it as close to I can to being fully online. I don't know if it's still the case. I recall Infernal Knight being a bit weak on stats just in general, but there's only so much you can do about that. And there are only so many like actual sets that support Cocktail. So if you want to play a set, that's pretty much the main thing you're going to use. Yeah, Cocktail is good for chill, relaxed farming. For top-end content, generally no. I mean, I did do Moira with a Blackwater Cocktail Elementalist, but it was something like a 14-minute kill time, which means that's a lot of time that you can make a mistake and have to restart the fight. But if you have enough regen to basically not have to worry about anything except getting arcaned, that's not a bad place to be. Mistwalker Leggings is Physique Spirit, Movement Speed, Aether, and Elemental Res. Yeah, these just are going on. Welcome in, Mr. Tech, as well. Lawless is just the giga-busted fire and burn set that's subsequently been nerfed in season. I think that was a Tuma design. And is it fair to say, Tuma, that you build for fun and not necessarily for balance? I actually, but, you know, for my Elementalist, I don't even think I used Lawless. But then, the point of the Elementalist was just to regen faster than Moira's dots, which it did. Yeah, I used a Lawless Shield Breaker, I think for my, I want to say it was a Season 5 Moira kill. And that you were able to sort of play around the mix, because I think it had the buffs to Blast Shield and Resilience, So you have a bunch of time between Blast Shield and Resilience where you're basically immortal because you couldn't take damage. So that was tremendously helpful, that there was just a massive window where you just were not taking any damage. And you had good damage yourself. Voldrak fight reminds me we should put a cluster on the bar. Frenzied of frostbite, so not a big deal. Hey, thanks for the raid, Shakalu. Welcome in, guys. Yeah, Lawless is still good, I'd agree. Silent N, I don't know. That's one of the split damage types, right? What are you playing? Are you playing Grim Dawn again, or are you playing something else? I think I played Syrah 2 seasons ago. Yeah, because there was the absolutely insanely busted bleed build that Ground Zero and I think a couple other people were using. It's leveling a Cold Nightblade, nice.
Well, if it isn't my old friend from Devil's Crossing. You see, I haven't been entirely... I came upon...
What do we have? Alright. I mean, it did a lot of content, though, to me, you have to admit. Yeah, they unfortunately nerfed Amatok before I got to play it. And, you know, I had an original concept for Amatok the season before, which was basically ultra low cooldown Blitz, which I had a lot of fun with. That is no longer viable because of the way they redesigned the set. Yeah, I remember the funny thing with Sigrun at the end is being, I think Warcry ended up being spammable. I don't know that that was necessarily great, but definitely funny. Alright, Alright, next level we're going to get artifact handling. And we will be doing Pine Barrens, but I want to push to get the... I don't know what the time's going to look like on the stream, but if we can get the Skybreaker Circlet before today ends, that will be very nice. I mean, if not, we'll just get it early Thursday. It'll be fine. We're already making some progress. We can completely torch totems. Just takes a little longer to set up. Once we get artifact handling, our setup time is going to go down.
So how good work.
Yeah, Spell Scourge is very good, too. I did SR36 with it not too long ago. I think that's up on YouTube. But I did classic Battle Mage.
I wasn't sure. I'm going to.
Yeah, falling asleep seems like a good way to die in Grim Dawn Trixie. Sickern Warlord. Okay, yeah. Giga Armor. Decent OAG. DA. Basically spammable Warcry. And Guardians.
I'll skip the plat. The Legion is split on two.
Wait, I thought we did that already. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I believe it, Trixie. Yeah, if you're gonna fall asleep playing the game, hardcore is probably not the best option. I've never fallen asleep. I have played Grim Dawn hardcore while drunk, though. It's generally been fine, but you're also somewhat aware of your impairment when you do that. We still have 46% poison res. It's not really what you want to see, but Alright, we got one pheromone gland. Let's figure out where the other one is. It's possible I killed the boss and just didn't pick it up. Or, yep. It's probably bosses in one of those little areas that we didn't search. I mean, we haven't had terrible drops, Viley. I mean, it's not good impervious, but of the Untamed is actually not bad. I think it's a little bit of Aether Res, Health, and OA. And aggressive of the Drangul is fine. I'd rather have resistances, but I'm not going to complain too much about that. Those are the only target farmable MIs we've picked up so far. Oh yeah, and Gallus has a poison shotgun. Maybe we don't fight him right now. Or, hold on. Pierce poison. Okay, yeah, you know what? These boots are going on. They're more armor as well. That's a bit of an improvement. Do we have anything that's weapons that are less awful? Looks like the answer is not really. I might have picked one up, but I didn't have one in my stash when I last looked, Viley. Maybe it's in my character's inventory. We'll take a look. But let's get out of here first. Alright. Quick trip to Devil's Crossing, check our stash.
Safe storage, no questions asked.
Alright, we've got one. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a runestone in the helm as well. I don't know. Wardstone is... Yep. Alright, that's actually kind of nice for resistances. 68% poison res feels a lot better. Aether Res. Chaos Res is kind of our only issue right now. Can we craft imbued silver? We have 7 scavenge plating, polished emerald should be fine. It doesn't matter where it goes. Alright, 51% chaos res. I feel better about our resistances now. And back to Queen's Lair. Fighting bosses watching videos, yeah, that can be dangerous. I think Ugdal can drop one of 2 MIs.
There was much commotion. Report. I see my scouts have.
Just the There are 2 other.
The one you call Ulgrim. specter of death guard your path.
Apparently muted. Well, this will be a fun VOD. But yeah, whoever asked what class this is going to be when I was answering it and muted, this is going to be a Purifier, so Inquisitor demo. But yeah, so 4 items, 2 of which we can wear, 2 of which we'll be able to wear in a few levels. But we have the Martin Crest, Overprax Sting, Obsidian Bulwark, and Skybreaker Circlet. Yeah, we're main focus is Lightning Rune Callistor, so we start Inquisitor, and we'll eventually fill things up with the demo. So yeah, I swear I was not ignoring chat. I was just apparently muted. Yeah, Overseer's on the first try. Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely give the game another try. Finish the character. See what gear you can find. And then if you have fun, then what you do is you level another character. Actually thinking about the Korvac Stormblade for to throw stun jacks in the mix. Yeah, Farthest Frontier is a cool game. I think I have a grand total of 2 hours in it. I kind of bought it to throw some money crates away, but also that is the sort of game that when I'm in the right mood for it is just a very chill, relaxing thing to play. So I could see next TV show I want to get caught up on, if and when that happens, something like that on in the background would be great. Yeah, my brother does the same thing with City Skylines. He's watching a show or something along those lines. It's good background because it doesn't require as intense focus. Alright, so we definitely want to do the totem in case any of the obsidians spawn and have a chance to drop us a better old shield. Which does not seem to happen. But this weapon is probably an upgrade, so let's see. Requires level 35. Yeah, I think very recently it went 1.0. But it was in early access for a good bit. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, that went 1.0, so it's time to move those resources over to Grim Dawn, Fangs of Astrakarn. Level 31 we'll have Aura of Censure, bit of RR, damage reduction, all that good stuff. Yeah, the probably have a minimum number of commands that work. At some point, I should look into enabling more. Did we? Did I not find the prisoners in Bloodgrove? Okay, we'll do that quickly. Okay, they must be maybe they're here. No, that's we did the quest after, but not the prisoners. Right. Level 31. Maybe down here. All right, we'll get excess insignias. Okay, and there they are. It comes with the territory, lots of practice.
I am told that Lasan, I can, when the Legion was I've already.
And the more you do it, the faster I think you tend to get. Alright, Creed wants me in Fort Icon. Let's turn these quests in. See if this gets us level 32. And it does. Alright, so Overseers of Thunder. We're gonna swap out the runestone, or keep that on. Sell a couple of items, but now we see most important, the color of the rune changes. Level 35. I will use a shield once we get there. Now, a couple of these things we're going to dump off for future characters. I think the rest for now we keep. And all right, so the only mod I've used for Grim Dawn has been the community season mod. A lot of people use Rainbow Filter. I think by the time I thought about using it, I had pretty much memorized what the affixes did, so it just never was that useful. And there was a mod called Grim Internals, which some people use, which is no longer active on current Grim Dawn. So, and some of its elements were incorporated into the game. Yeah, we got 6 dynamite. We should be good. I've seen a bunch of people play, like, I think Grimmarillion and a few other things, and I see the appeal. It's just not for me. Apparently this is giving +2 ignition. Yeah, and once we get the shield online at level 35, this is going to get even a little bit stronger. Didn't mean to get hit by that. Thought it's normal. Devastating a ruin, not a bad roll for a leveling item. Hey, welcome in, Max. You streaming tonight at all, or are you being lazy? Alright, well, we're gonna do the totem here. Speaking of lining up runes for totem. Lazy, most likely. Fair enough. We'll see who's on in about 25 minutes. Find a spot to raid. Okay, this is percent lightning. It's more armor, it's health. We lose a little bit of Aether res, but we cap our poison res, and we get more Ellie res. That's a win. Now let's find where Bloodbriar is. £40 weight, very solid max. That's good stuff. Yeah, I did weightlifting this morning. Considering doing cardio. Alright. We may have missed the cave. Can you spawn? No, I think we have to go back. It is fairly warm here as well. I think I don't have the immediate conversion, but it's high of around 90 Fahrenheit. That's what, like 30, is that like 34 Celsius? $32. Okay, I overestimated it slightly. Yeah, the actual gym has some climate control, which is nice. House has climate control if I want to ride the bike. Alright, this is, looks like an upgrade. +2 to lightning tether, +300 health, bit more damage, more armor. We can afford to lose the Pierce res, I think, and we get more Aether res. Okay, Pierce goes to 77, but that's fine. Yeah, we actually have, well, okay, Chaos res is a complete disaster. I don't know, what was I wearing that had Chaos res? been something, but... Yeah, 80 Fahrenheit inside is rough. Definitely do not envy that. Yeah, dry heat is generally a lot better, I agree. The humidity is rough. And we're not going to do ill with Blood Feast. Fishman, welcome in. Okay. One of these days we'll also get a relic. Yeah, we need Chaos Res badly. Our Chaos Res was better. I'm trying to figure out what I took off that might have had Chaos Res, but right now I'll just keep moving. Go to Fort Icon, get the shrine on the way. I'll probably end the stream around Fort Icon, I would guess. Based on how timing's going. Alright, drop some runes. Don't mess up. Thought these guys were going to mess up my little rune setup for the totem. Alright, that guy did not quite get hit by the runes. Alright, well that's just going to go on. Yeah, very much looking forward to level 35. This has a bunch of Chaos Res. That's going to be very solid for us. Alright, let's get this totem lined up. Yeah, that sounds like something I would do when I was much younger. I think as I've gotten older, I just get impatient. Is my mic dead? Okay, so you guys can't hear me? Alright, that's good. My mic's not dead and the OBS isn't muting me. Okay. That might mean it's time for me to get a new mic or figure out a new setup, because this has occasionally had some slight issues. Yeah, I think I know I don't talk super loud, but if people are struggling enough to have it turned way up, the technology might be at least partly at fault. Oh, your Twitch was muted. Max, it's playing Force Wave. How much effort can that possibly take? But look, that said, if you want to be lazy, don't worry about it. Just curious if there's anyone playing Grim Dawn right now. And there is not. Oh yeah, that's true. We can bully Max to do exercise. That's fun. Alright, let's just make sure we get to level 35 before we sign off so we can equip the shield and kind of have the core elements of the build online. We will try not to die to Lucius, absolutely. Generally not recommended. Alright, we'll get the Necropolis Riftgate, or the first one, not the second one, and then we'll port back the Fort Icon, turn in the quest. Hey, welcome in, Silver Fox. You are catching me at the very end, but we are leveling a kind of SSF from a gear and components perspective. Purifier. Lightning Rune of Calstor is going to be the main skill, and I think we're ultimately going to try to add Stun Jacks into the mix. See if we can get that to work. Don't have a link to the build. I can, give me, just a second. This is the extremely rough sketch just showing MIs. No affixes on the MIs, and there are a few empty slots. But it kind of gives the idea of what we're going for.
Good work down there. We cannot.
I guess we'll take Widow. We probably should have taken that sooner, but... Alright, let's... I think the logical stopping point is going to be getting the Necropolis Interior Riftgate and getting the 2 shrines in the Necropolis zone before Ligorian's dungeon. So we will do that. Take us a little past 7 o'clock my time. I was thinking of the Valexteria chest, actually. But if I get a legitimately good non-MI, like you're saying, it's just going to be better. Yeah. So, traditional way to play this build is Paladin for Lightning Rune of Calstor, but I want to do something a little bit different. And Purifier, okay. We're going to be careful because we have 36% Chaos Res. But if everything's gonna die before it causes a problem for us, then I suppose that's alright. Required physique 360. Hang on. Perfect. Except, not perfect. Alright, let's wait for stuff to stop attacking me, and we can figure out what the problem is here. Okay, this shield gives me plus 3% physique. Lovely. Select class Demolitionist. Wonder if that's good enough. Yes. Perfect. Alright, we're going to swap the imbued silver quickly. Yeah, this is +2 Runic Alistor, and it's lightning. Very true. Good call on that. I forgot that that actually has lightning damage. For some reason, I was thinking it was only fire, but in any event, the +2 Runic Alistor is probably worth it either way. Runes can be not the most exciting playstyle. Alright, leave a portal here. We'll get the interior rift gate, and then we'll double back for the shrine. We actually have Chaos Res now.
Took you long enough. The cult of it appears that the
This is a valid point, Viley. In fact, I probably was thinking about losing the Aether Res, and I wasn't looking at the Steel Resolve. Yeah, that's a point. Let's actually fix that. Swap out the Anti-Venom Salve. Yeah, Runebinder, I think you need the set. You need Inquisitor, and if you're using the weapon for default attack replacer, that's a potentially different matter. All right, have we acquired any? Let's see if we have an ancient armor plate. We do. Do we have a Chains of Oleron? No, we don't. Alright. Well, that's still fine. We're getting there. Alright, I'm gonna get this one last shrine and then call it. Yeah, exactly, Viley. Steel Resolve does almost certainly make it a wash for the Aether Res. But yeah, no, that was a good call. I was looking at that belt earlier and thinking I don't want to lose Aether Res and forgetting that I'm actually not going to. I mean, Inquisitor, you get triple ranged weapon pool skills and elemental RR. Vindicator, you get extra elemental RR, you get two-handed bonuses, and the Shaman weapon pool skill, Feral Hunger, would work as well. Then you drop a Seal of Void or something to round it out, I think. Maybe you could do Mage Hunter? Because, Iskandr's is going to give you a ton of flat elemental damage. We don't have to kill Plagueis, but he's sort of guarding the shrine. Mystic of Attack. Worthless. Alright. So, we got all the way to Necropolis. We hit level 35. We're almost 36. We're officially a Purifier because we put a couple points into demo. Rune Callister, we've got 20. We have 14 in Ignition. Artifact Handling is soft capped. We'll probably put some points here, maybe start using Seal, and moving up with the demo. We have our 4 core MIs that I wanted at the start of the day. We got the Martin Crest, which is Fizz Lightning to Rune Callister. We got the Oroprax Sting, which is 1+1 Inquisitor, Electrocute to Stormbox. Eventually it'll be Electrocute to Stunjax once we put a point in there. We might even just 1-point that to add some flat Electrocute for the time being once we are there. We got the Skybreaker Circlet, Overseers of Thunder, which is a pretty solid roll, even if it's just a leveling item, which converts the rest of the damage, the fire damage, over to lightning. And then this gives us flat resist reduction to Rune Callister. It gives +1 projectile. Once we get to Blast Shield, it'll give us skill recharge time off and more crit while Blast Shield is up. So yeah, we are in pretty good shape. Let me get you guys a Grim Tools for level 35. And I will see if there's anyone on for us to raid. But yeah, this is a pretty successful first day for a SSF run. Not going to complain about this at all. let me just save this for myself as well. And it looks like Max is on. Perfect. Appreciate everyone hanging out today. Thanks again, Tuma, for the sub. If I thanked you when you came in and I was muted, I am sorry about that, but I do appreciate it. Thanks again for all of the follows. We'll be back on Thursday at the same time, continuing this build, and Saturday we'll be starting at 8 in the morning my time, which is East Coast US. So let's go say hi to Max. Now you heard that. Oh, maybe I wasn't muted then. I have no idea. The mystery continues. All right, there we go. All right. All right, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.